So I'm just quickly
This meeting recorded.
introduce Ryan from Openlot. I had a quick look at the website. Phenomenal technology. Your founder has also got patents as well. We're just going through Oxbridge's patent, but certainly done a great job with it. Able to see every single house and land in the country. But I will, pass it over to you. You go for it. Share your screen. Go for it.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Paul. And hello to kind of everyone that I can see everyone's names up there. 2 secs. So let me know when you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Sorry,
yes,
everyone's on mute. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. So I caught up with Paul last week, and he had gone through our site and was interested in finding out a little bit more information about what we're doing. So we thought today would be a great time to take you through what Openlot is and the solution that we offer as a bit of an alternative to what you would normally find on some of the other property portals, but it seemed like there's a lot of synergies between the two companies. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through our deck, and if there's any questions that come through, just yell out. I can't see anyone's faces, so you're going to have to yell at me to stop. Hopefully you'll find it quite useful in some of the properties that you're looking to sell, but also an opportunity to see what developers are in market at any one time, especially if there's particular regions that you focus on. So I'm going to jump in here and just give you an overview of the solution that we've got. So openlot.com.au, we really want to talk to three main solutions, one being our new home buyer. How can we make it as easy as possible for a consumer to come through, do their research and making inquiries on a particular development? The second piece to that, which is our customer piece, where we look to think about the pain points that particular sales teams normally go through when they are trying to connect with inquirers. How can we offer as much information as possible about that potential buyer, but make sure that the quality of the lead is as high as possible as well. So we'll go into a bit more detail on that. And then the last piece, how can we make it as easy as possible for a developer to know exactly what they're putting in, their expected return on investment is when they are using Openlot, and we'll take you through that. But first of all, so we were talking about patents and things like that, and Paul mentioned that you've been through it. This is actually our CEO and founder, Chi. He spent 3 years working at realestate.com.au as a software engineer, and then he moved across to Landchecker, which is also another property website looking at overlays and different things with every single property across Australia, and then also urban.com.au, which is another prop tech business. So he's got a lot of experience working behind the scenes, understanding how consumers work. And for him, he actually went through the house and land journey. He was looking to purchase here in Victoria, looking out west. And the only way that he could find information on all of the estates was to actually drive out there on his Saturdays, drive down all the roads, write down all of the names of the display suites and what was on the billboards, and then go back home and then research them individually. And for him, he was just thought that there's got to be a better way of doing it. It was a real pain point. And there's got to be a better way of spending your Saturdays than just driving around and really not being productive. And that's really how Openlot came about, trying to solve that consumer pain point. How can we collate, aggregate all of the information as much as possible into one platform? So that's what Openlot is. And just for everyone on the line here today, just to give you a bit of background of myself, I've spent the last 7 years heading up the house and land team in Victoria for realestate.com.au. And I was getting asked by my developers, hey, what's this Openlot? We're getting leads through and we're making sales from them. Don't know what it is, but keep an eye out for it. And that kind of piqued my interest. And after due diligence going through it, I really liked what they were doing. And really, when you're being in this space for so long, the house and land space is ripe for disruption. There's a bit of a monopoly at the moment. There's a lot of people out there who use REA just because you just have to. There's no reason for them to be on the marketing schedule. They're just always there. But I think there's a massive opportunity to really disrupt this market. So I'm excited about what we've got. We've been around since January 2020, and we're really starting to make get some traction in market, which is fantastic. So doing a bit of a deeper dive into what I spoke about earlier with the solutions that we've got. So talking about the problems that we solve. Sorry. No. The problems that we solve for new home buyers. Really, when we look at the new home buyer market and look at the other portals, they don't give a fair representation of what's actually in the market. So if we look on the left-hand side of your screen there, you'll see a screenshot of what we can see at REA in their new home space, really only showing about 35 estates in there. But when you look at the Openlot screenshot that we've got in the same region, we can see that there's almost 10 times the amount of estates. Now, you're probably wondering, how on earth are you doing that? Well, the reason is because we actually pull in all of the data on every single development that comes to market, whether that's in planning, whether that's been going through selling stages, or whether that's sold. We actually give the consumer a complete overview of that market. So to give you an idea, if you're in Pimpama, as an example, and you went in there, you'll see that there's actually 12 estates. 6 of them are sold out, but there's still 6 active estates in market. So as a consumer, you might go in there and you make inquiries on a few of them. But when you click onto those links, you'll be able to go find out more information about it. Say it was Gainsborough Greens. You can see all the development details. There could be land sizes, land prices, if they're doing house and land townhouses, and any other information that's associated with that listing. And then we also list any information that might be related news, something that could be in the Courier Mail, or if there's any social media updates, we can actually add them to the listing as well. And then nearby schools and also historical land data. So again, trying to give the power back to that consumer by sharing as much information that's relevant to that development. The second piece to this, thinking about the pain points that consumers go through when they are looking for estates, is they'll normally make inquiries on a few different developments. They'll send an inquiry out and they'll probably get 3 responses back from 3 different sales agents, all pretty much asking the same questions. What type of buyer are you? What's your budget? What's your time frame to purchase? So we thought, how can we streamline that process and make it as easy as possible for that consumer to make an inquiry, but also share the information about themselves, so they don't have to constantly write the same email back to the different sales consultants. So from that, we actually created a buyer profile system. So we prompt them to answer, there's about 12 questions on there. All of those basic questions that get asked, like what's your financial situation, time frame to purchase, budgets, and things like that. So with that, it holds a lot of data. And I'll show you in a few slides time what those questions actually look like and how it comes through to you as a sales consultant as well to really help your conversion rates. Now, just to give you some a bit of confidence in kind of who we are, I mentioned to you that we've been around since January 2020. We actually are doing a lot of above the line marketing for ourselves, or branding, sorry. And that could be on billboards, bus routes, trains. We're on radio stations, but also we've just sponsored 10 episodes for a segment on Open Homes Australia, which launches March 12th. So that'll be on 9 Life and then a few of the other channels on there. So we're really excited to get that reach. And as I said, just trying to get the brand out there as well. You might actually see that we've got a few buses running up in Queensland at the moment. But further to that above the line brand reach that we're looking to use, we're actually getting picked up by a number of different property websites. So Chi, our founder, our CEO, he's getting interviewed a lot around kind of what we're doing in market, how we're changing it, but also some of the unique propositions that we have. So that's actually really good brand awareness for us. That's helping drive traffic. But really the key driver for our site is the amount of SEO content we have. So having over 3,000 estates listed on our site is obviously driving a lot of traffic. And we rank really, really highly on Google, which is helping. But our traffic numbers are continuing to increase. So we've just surpassed our record previously for January. So we're sitting at about 79,000 unique users to the site each month. So over the last 12 months, around 127,000 inquiries that have come through. And of those inquiries, around 60% of those actually have a full buyer profile completed. So there's a lot of really detailed information that we can share with you. So that's talking about the new home buyer market, making sure that the consumers still have the power and they can do as much research as possible in one place. But now we're talking to the issues that we fix for the sales consultants or sales professionals. So I'm assuming many of you on here are looking to sell properties or in that piece. But what we're wanting to do is create a platform where we can help with that sales conversion. So what I mean by that is making sure that our brand promise is that we can send you a lead that comes through with a full name, an email address, and a verified mobile number at a minimum, which is something that a lot of the other property portals don't do. They'll just send you a name and an email address, and it can be quite frustrating for yourselves when you are trying to get onto that person and they're just not replying to emails and you've got no other way of contacting them. So to give you an idea of how we're filtering through those inquiries and making sure that the quality is there, this is an example. This slide that I'm showing you is an example of what we can, the process that a consumer will go through once they click on on Gainsborough Greens, they want to find out more information. We'll then pop them through to the flow of clicking here, asking for their name and email, and then we'll go one last step, and then it'll be their mobile number. At that point, someone can, once they've put in their phone number, we then send them a code through two-factor authentication. Once that code's in, then they submit it. So it's only at that point that we'll then send the lead through to you. So it's guaranteeing that that person is 110%. They know exactly what they're doing and they want to make an inquiry on your listing. So around 5% of the inquiries from that start piece, when they've clicked on the to find out more information, only 5% will actually go through to actually submitting that information. So really verifying the leads, making sure that we're getting rid of any time wasters. So further to kind of that clarification of what type of buyer it is, the information that we send through to you, we can also send through, this is the buyer profile. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see all of the questions that we do ask. So anything from the areas that you're looking to buy, what type of product are you looking to buy? Openlot's focus is really to do vacant land, if you've got any house and land or townhouses. We're not moving into the apartment space just yet, but it's something that we are looking to do in the future. But our focus is really on that housing development market. So we can see what type of products they're looking for, what the size, if they're looking for land, if there's any floor plans that they're looking for in particular. And then the other piece to that is, are you deposit ready? What's your budget? What's your time frame to purchase? So really great information that can help you when you're on the call back to that inquirer. As I said, around 60% of all of the inquiries that do come through will have that complete buyer profile completed. So when you do come onto our platform, all of the current listings out there at the moment, if there's any developments that you're looking after and there is a listing there for it, they're all free listings. So if you're getting organic leads through, there's no costs involved in that. We're not going to come after you. We're not going to ask for a commission or anything like that. We actually, again, we want to go back to that brand promise of that really consumer-led platform. So if there's leads coming through, fantastic, and if you're making sales. But we do have upgrade plans where we can promote it further on our site, which we'll go into a bit more detail in a couple of slides' time. But if you are using an upgrade plan, we do follow up the inquiries 3 days after they've submitted. And the reason why we do that is just to make sure that we're closing the loop on that consumer experience. So if someone does make an inquiry on one of the developments that you're looking after, we'll send them an email. Did you hear from the sales consultant? They can click yes or no, and then they can submit a commentary after that. So yes, I've purchased, or I'm still looking, or no, I'm still really keen on gaining information. Can you please contact me? So it's another way. If you're in any of the markets at the moment, you would know that it's extremely hot, especially in the house and land space. So sometimes you can miss some of those leads. So it's a really nice way of getting a notification saying, hey, you've missed this lead. They'd like you to re-engage. So really closing the loop with that consumer. So those are the three points that we use to really ensure that the sales conversion is as high as possible. So making sure that there's a verified mobile number on every single listing, along with email and name, and then sharing that buyer profile, and then obviously the follow-up email. So the last piece to this is the how we make it easier for developers using our site. So because we are sitting on so much buyer information, we can actually power we call it a buyer demand index. Now this is a free platform to use, so you can jump on, you can see data insights. So if there's a particular suburb that you're looking at, say Collingwood Park, you haven't sold anything there before, but you're looking to find out more information, you can actually go to Collingwood Park and you can click on that and say this is an example of Collingwood Park. I know it says Victoria, but use this as an example. If you clicked on Collingwood Park, you can see that 34% of the buyer inquiries showing that they want 400 to 499 square metre blocks. And then as it drops down, 300 to 399 is sitting at 26%. So it really gives you really strong insights there. If you are looking to market a potential property, there's other questions in there around, say, amenities. So you might find that that's using Collingwood Park as an example. You might find that 25% of all the inquiries want access to the shopping centres, or is it parks and reserves? So there's all this really great information that can help you when you are selling that development. Now, as a developer or as a project marketer, when you do have a property to sell, probably there might be a few of you on here have been in the market for a while. And I think when I was first starting out, print was obviously quite strong. But gone are the days of that classifieds model, just putting your name and number in there and hoping that someone would call. The evolution of that has really been to digital or online. So you see the likes of Domain and REA really still using that classifieds model, not really ensuring there's no responsibility on them to try and drive leads to you. It's like, hey, we'll put your lead up, your listing up, but it'll just sit there. And what we've seen is a lot of the other marketing tools that you would normally use these days, whether it's social media or Google AdWords, it's all performance based. So you pay for normally how many leads are coming through, or how many clicks you can get from that type of advertising. Where we sit, we do know Google AdWords work particularly well, but we know that in particular corridors where there's a lot of competition, your budget can be blown within a couple of weeks because you're bidding at a higher price than you had budgeted for. So what we want to do is actually offer a platform. We're just new homes audience. That's all we want. We don't get tied up in any established or anything like that, but we're a performance model. So we sit kind of on the other end of the axis. So you pay, you know exactly how much you're going to pay each month and the expected outcome with that. So how we do that at the moment, say there's a listing that you're looking after, we'll use Gainsborough Greens as an example. With Gainsborough Greens, there might be between 5 and 10 organic leads coming through at the moment. But with our upgrade packs, we can actually guarantee 50 leads as an example for one of them. Now, we work a little bit differently to the other portals. So to give you an example, with REA, you might do a project profile, which is $3 or $4 grand. You might do a native ads, which is a minimum spend of between 3 and 5K. You might do audience extension and a hyper targeter, which is another 5K. With us, we actually bundle in all of those products. So with upgrade packs, we actually have native ads. They'll run on suburb level, region level to drive traffic to your development. But we also do a Friday EDM that you'll get on once a month, and that goes out to our subscriber database. So to give you an example, here in Victoria, we're sitting on just over 60,000 now. New South Wales is just under 15, and then in Queensland it's sitting just over 10. So we've got a huge amount of uptake and a lot of reach there with that Friday EDM. But we also do hyper-targeted or geo-targeted emails. So dropping a pin on your development, drawing a radius around it of about 10 kilometres, and then sending a dedicated email about your development to those subscribers. Now, we know that the open rate for those is between 23 and 25%. So what we actually do, because we've got that verified mobile number, we actually send an SMS to the ones that haven't opened the email to ensure that there's as much reach as possible about your development. The next piece to this, we do social media retargeting. That won't compete if you're doing any other advertising for your development, because we're only targeting our users. And then I touched on with the minimum lead guarantee. So to give you an example, our mid-tier, our bespoke plan is 50 leads per month, minimum lead guarantee. If we go over that 50, you might go over that 50 within 2 or 3 weeks. We actually don't slow the campaign down, and we don't cap it. And we also don't charge you any extra for the leads that come through over and above that. Our brand promise is to try and make it as successful as possible. So if you're getting 100 leads, that's fantastic for you, and hopefully you'll make even more sales. The last piece to our offering, we do have a buyer cashback, and how that works is if an inquiry comes through for a development that you're looking after, and that inquiry goes to a full deposit within 30 days of making an inquiry through Openlot, if they notify us and give us a receipt of that full deposit, we'll actually give them a $200 cashback as a part of the Openlot offering. It doesn't, we don't ask you for that money. It's just a nice, unique proposition, and it's a good way for us to kind of monitor the market and see what's actually converting.
So sorry,
so
Ryan.
The last piece,
yep. So I'm sorry, Ryan, to interrupt. I'm just a little bit sorry. I came on at about 3 or 4 minutes late, but is from what I'm gathering from what you're saying, this is for us to use if we have if we have a land division, no matter how small or large, and we actually get leads. So it actually gets put on your platform. And from my understanding is it is our client or ourselves, if we're doing it ourselves, we don't pay for that. Now with the leads that you're talking about that are sent to us, it's obviously in just general inquiry and things that you might get, nothing specific to our project. But do we only get the leads if we have got a project listed on your site as the selling agent?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
But
All right.
at the moment,
I was okay because I was just reading the overview that text that came via just our general brief, and it was sort of talking about us having access to listings that other agencies don't gain access to, and I was wondering how that all works, because obviously I was thinking, well, how do we get to sell projects and things in our state if that developer's already got it with another agent? So I'm just a bit confused about just how that would work for somebody or for an agent. For us Oxbridge agents are in all different states, and I've noted there that you're in most states and things. So how if it's not our listing, do we can we sell? Is there any sort of benefit that we can actually attain?
Yeah, good question, Adam. So I think what the best process would be for that would be to, because on Openlot we can actually, you can see normally who the developer is. So the best bet would be to actually contact the developer and see if there was an opportunity to sell some exclusive lots in that case. So the normal kind of process would be if you've got, you might have an exclusive, or you might have a subdivision that you're looking to sell. We can put the listing up on Openlot, and it's a free listing, and we can organize. You can receive organic leads through that, and then there is the option for, let's say it's a larger subdivision, you might have 50 lots, 100 lots. You could look to do an upgrade plan on that yourself, and know that there's actually leads going through from a promotion. Promoting
a lot of buyers of house land packages and things are often people that are renting and they're looking to. So I'm just trying to think how. So unless your core business is specifically in that space of special projects, house land packages in greenfield estates, really this doesn't offer much at all to the general real estate practitioner then, does it?
Well, you would normally, so if you were looking to sell something, you would need to engage with either the developer and work as the project marketer or develop yourself. So that's how it would normally work. You could, you'd need to have exclusivity or a letter of authority to sell these developments.
Okay.
To receive leads.
Okay.
Hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you very much. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Adam. And then the last piece to this, we actually send through a monthly report, which gives you all of the performance metrics on the actual development. So all of the leads come through at a minimum with full name, email, and phone number. And then what we look to do is then give you the performance metrics of saying, okay, this month over this period, this is how many people clicked on the listing that you're looking after. This is how many leads you got, and this is the cost per lead. So overall, what we're trying to do is give you as much information as possible as the developer, as the project marketer, as the media agency, whichever role you sit in, and then obviously send through those leads for then a conversion. So I do have a couple of case studies here, which I might I'll send through to you later because it's just coming up that my internet's a little bit funny. But was there any other questions around kind of the platform or any insights there around kind of the buyer demand index that would be helpful? No? Okay. Well, I think that's the deck. I do have pricing, but I'm not sure, Paul, did you want me to take you through the pricing? Ashwani? Yep. I'll just click through to these ones here. Give you an idea of what that investment piece looks like. So to give you an example, if you are looking to sell a land development, or you've got exclusive right to sell lots or a townhouse development, this is the pricing matrix that we do have. So the most important row for you at the moment is to kind of think about how many leads you're looking to generate. Now, obviously, this is for listings if you're wanting to do an upgrade pack. If you're happy to receive organic listings, and more than happy to contact me after this and say, hey, I'm actually looking after this development, whether it's in Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, or even South Australia, which we've moved into. We will be launching WA later this year as well, if there's anyone on the Zoom that looks after that market. But to give you an example, if you're wanting to do an upgrade plan, then these are the options here. So to give you an example, a bespoke plan, minimum lead guarantee is 50 listings. If you've got a CRM set up, or if you're going through Oxbridge, we can actually integrate all of the leads that come through for that particular development to go through straight into that CRM. What's included in these is the Friday EDM, the geo-targeted email and SMS, and then obviously the social media retargeting for the larger ones. But what we're trying to stick to is around a $60 cost per lead. So you can see here that the bespoke plan is sitting at $3,000 a month plus GST. If you wanted to, I guess you could call it almost a membership for that development, but that particular development, what we want to do is drive leads through to you. So working towards a $60 cost per lead. Obviously, if we go over the 50 leads, that's a bonus. So it just keeps driving the cost per lead down for you. This is the land pricing that we have. And if you're, let's say you're looking after a townhouse development, similar concept with the pricing structure, except we work to, it's a little bit smaller in terms of the number of leads, because we know that it's a smaller part of the market when we compare it to house and land. But our lead guarantees still remain the same. We just work to a $100 cost per lead on that. So really, Openlot, what we're trying to do, create a platform that's as easy as possible to use for a consumer, and then put them in touch with the particular estates that you and others are looking after, and then send as much information of that buyer through to you to then hopefully close the sale. Any questions? Does that make sense, Ashwani?
No, Ryan, this sounds good, actually. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Well, I might, if there was any other questions, I'm sure Paul is happy to share my details, but yeah, more than happy to take anything offline if there was any other questions that you had about Openlot. But we're really excited to come up into the markets. As I said, we're getting more and more traction now. And I think the market's probably getting into a point where it was previously a buyer's market, but it feels like it's starting to turn a little bit. So in terms of having to sell again, That's probably going to start happening over the next few months as the market cools a little bit. But thank you so much for having me this morning or this afternoon. And yeah, hopefully we can work together in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Cheers.